2018 Ford Mondeo Hatchback Review. The good points of Ford Mondeo Hatchback: comfortable and spacious, economical diesels, refined, upmarket feel, safe and strong. The bad points of Ford Mondeo Hatchback: high-spec models are pricey. Options expensive too. Not the sharpest to push. Rear visibility limited. With the rise in use of SUVs coming from all shapes and sizes, traditionally popular large family hatchbacks just like the Ford Mondeo ought to work extra not easy to stand out to buyers and company car drivers alike. That's easier said than done, with competitive rivals such as the Volkswagen Passat, Mazda 6 and Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport to conquer, but Ford can't neglect the fact that potential prospects could also be considering family SUVs much like the Volkswagen Tiguan, Mazda CX-5 as well as the Ford Kuga. The Mondeo is a brilliant-looking car, with a few neat design details and swooping roofline built some way to disguising its size. It's huge, though with that growth also comes a transfer of what the important Ford is advisable at. While it's still good to push, it's more a cozy cruiser than back-road blaster like previous generations. And you can thank its American roots for as comfort comes at the top of US shoppers' wish lists, as this is the same car that you're capable to buy from the USA, albeit badged diffusion as opposed to Mondeo. We ran one to be a long-termer. Watch more here. Handsome body hides many kit. Ford prides itself on introducing relevant technology to its customers that hitherto had remained the preserve of buyers of more prestigious brands. This continues together with the Mondeo, while it doesn't go unnoticed by using its elongated, tapering bodywork, large trapezoidal grille plus a liberal putting on chroma look trim. The fundamental Ford also offers the air of a more expensive car about this. Mondeos fitted together with the optional LED headlamps also sport thin strips of day-running light at their base which pulsate with the amber glow when indicating. Significant advances happen to be made with all the Mondeo's onboard safety kit and driving aids, building on existing technologies and introducing refinements for many years. Parking assistance now parallel parks together within two bays. The significantly stronger and safer body shell is usually lighter. However, the safety item planning to grab by far the most headlines are definitely the optional inflatable seatbelts around the outer two rear seats, giving more cushion protection from the event of any crash, 5 times the area of any conventional seatbelt. All models feature Sync 3, Ford's latest infotainment system, having an 8.0-inch color touchscreen. It's intuitive and to get utilized too, using software developed for Ford by Microsoft. Big choice of engines available. While many Mondeo buyers will choose a 5-door hatchback or Estate having a choice of petrol and diesel engines, there's a 4-door saloon available, powered exclusively with a petrol-electric hybrid system. Available to Mondeo buyers is a selection of EcoBoost petrol engines including 1.0 to 2.0 liters 125 to 240 horsepower, while punchy and economical DC diesels can be purchased from 1.5 to 2.0 liters 120 to 210 horsepower. Most Mondeos have a 6-speed manual gearbox, while power shift automatics can be found on some higher-output power plants, while all-wheel drive can be available on particular engines. More details for the variants are located in the performance area of this review. Spacious cabin with quality feel. Passengers take pleasure in the Mondeo's size, with genuine space for 5 adults in spite of the sloping roofline, as well as the car rides comfortably on standard suspension. The impressive adaptive version is just not available just as one option on UK cars. The boot's spacious at 541 liters, which has a space-saver wheel, An optional full-size spare shrinks it to 458 liters, although rivals offer more luggage capacity if that's your main concern. The Mondeo is accurate and nimble around corners. It lacks the impressive driver involvement older designs have provided enthusiasts. It's exceptionally comfortable and quiet on long journeys that could appeal to those pounding top to bottom the motorway. The verdict: the Mondeo isn't the sharp, fun tow-drive family hatchback it's accustomed to be, which might disappoint some buyers. However, there are not many better ways to go hundreds of motorway miles, since the Mondeo can be quite comfortable, refined and easy to operate a vehicle. It comes which has a generous number of standard equipment and keep you safe and entertained, even though the broad selection of engines means there's something geared to pretty much all tastes. The biggest issue is the insightful SUVs which might be stealing sales with this more traditional body style, but it really shouldn't be overlooked. Ford Mondeo Hatchback Review. Wide choice of petrol and diesel engines from which to choose. One hybrid available, but only in saloon body style. Diesels feel best suited on the Mondeo. Despite the full engine range being turbocharged, it's implemented to improve overall efficiency in lieu of allow Ford Mondeo performance to completely scintillate. That said, such may be the bewatched of engines available, that there is going to be something geared to a wide variety of buyers. Ford C diesels available. With diesel engines anticipated to power 90% of Mondeo hatchbacks in Britain, it's vital that you offer a strong choice, and Ford has delivered. Kicking off of the diesel range is really a 1.5-liter Duratorque Z-Kinetic engine producing 120 horsepower and 270 Nm of torque. As you could expect looking at the eco-conscious name, this engine focuses more about efficiency than performance. As such, it will require 12.1 seconds to perform the 062 mph benchmark sprint, and definitely will reach a 119 mph top speed. Offering more get up and go will be the 2.0 Z with 150 horsepower and 370 Nm of torque, in 6-speed manual, front-wheel drive form. The 062 mph sprint is fully gone in 9.3 seconds. If you opt for the eco-friendly Kinetic version on this engine, torque is slightly lower at 350 Nm, while 062 takes 9.4 seconds. If you desire this engine operating wheel drive, Ford will oblige provided that you like manual gearboxes, and also this version takes 10.3 seconds to look from 062 mph. The final setup due to this engine is which has a power shift automatic gearbox, available simply with front-wheel drive. This version takes 9.9 seconds to travel from 062 mph, and definitely will reach 132 mph at the very top end. If you would like more performance, the 180 horsepower, 400 Nm version in the 2.0 Z should suit. With front-wheel drive as well as a manual gearbox, this version will complete the 062 mph sprint in 8.3 seconds, all of which will reach a 140 mph top speed. If you go with the power shift auto also with front-wheel drive, the 062 mph time rises ever so slightly to 8.6 seconds, while top speed is rated at 139 mph. The power shift auto can also be available wonderful wheel drive, taking 9.3 seconds to search from 062 mph. At the top in the diesel range is often a twin-turbo 2.0 Z producing 210 horsepower and 450 Nm of torque. This engine is only provided with front-wheel drive as well as a power shift automatic gearbox, and supplies up a 062 mph period of 7.9 seconds. Top speed is 145 mph. The Mondeo can fight to put all of this power and torque to the road from the automatic gearbox, but once on top of things, the reserve of shove can make it a very effective motorway mile muncher, and it also remains hushed all the time. It gathers pace within a non-dramatic fashion, but surprises, which consists of quick responses when you knock the gearbox into S mode. 3. EcoBoost Petrols. Petrol power makes up about a much smaller component of Mondeo sales. Nevertheless, you still get a lot of choice. The range kicks off having a 1.0-liter EcoBoost 3-cylinder nab from your Fiesta and Focus in 125 horsepower form. Torque is rated at 170 Nm, even though the 0.62 mph duration of 12.0 seconds and also a top speed of 119 mph won't set pulses racing. You must work this engine, not easy to get the important Mondeo going. Offering much more about paper performance would be the 1.5-liter EcoBoost with 160 horsepower and 240 Nm to get a 0.62 mph duration of 9.2 seconds and also a 138 mph top speed. On the road, this engine doesn't feel as flexible as that torque figure suggests, requiring frequent flicking in the 6-speed manual gearbox from a single ratio completely to another, since its subdued note doesn't intrude much to the Mondeo's cabin. This engine can even be equipped through an optional 6-speed automatic, shaving off 0.1 seconds in the sprint to 62 mph coming from a standstill, while top speed drops to 133 mph. If outright speed will be your concern, then you must pay attention to your 240 horsepower 2.0-liter EcoBoost, only obtainable in higher spec trims and exclusively together with the 6-speed automatic gearbox. It'll reach 149 mph all the way and hit 62 mph from nothing in 7.9 seconds, which sounds quick for the family car, aided by 345 Nm of torque from 2,300 revolutions per minute. However, you'll pay for the price with lower fuel economy claims compared while using diesels. 1. Petrol-electric hybrid. If you might want a hybrid Mondeo, expect to shell out for any high-spec model within the not-so-popular four-door saloon body style. This version relies on a 2.0-liter petrol engine combined with the electric motor to offer propulsion. It takes 9.2 seconds to perform the 0.62 mph sprint, while it'll carry on to reach a 116 mph top speed. However, should you try to duplicate these, you won't begin to see the fuel economy advantages of running a hybrid. With 187 horsepower, it's one on the more powerful Mondeos, though the torque figure of 173 Nm means there is the lowest quantity of torque assigned on the 1.0 EcoBoost from the range. Engines no more available. At launch, a budget-friendly Econetic 1.6-liter TC producing 115 horsepower as well as a useful 270 Nm of torque was available. Unsurprisingly, using the top speed of 119 mph and completing the 0.62 mph sprint within a leisurely 12.1 seconds, it had been the slowest Mondeo hatchback available, but mated to some 6-speed manual gearbox it turned out also essentially the most economical too, posting a claimed average of 78.5 miles per gallon with CO2 emissions of just 94 gkm. This engine has since been replaced because of the 1.5-liter TC, which offers similar performance figures. Despite the full engine range being turbocharged, it's completed to improve overall efficiency instead of allow Ford Mondeo performance to scintillate. Safe and secure handling. But you find the Mondeo's size not as nimble like a Mazda 6. One Ford Mondeo characteristic that's been a hallmark ever since the original debuted in 1993 would be the keen and engaging handling, while it has for being noted that whilst the responsiveness of every generation has improved, the enjoyment the motive force senses is slightly diluted. This trend continued together with the latest Mondeo 2, which handles with greater agility and nimbleness than its size suggests is probable, yet enthusiastic drivers will lament the experience feels slightly anesthetized. Fitting electric, instead of hydraulic, power steering could be the key reason. There's no doubting its accuracy, grip and willingness to improve direction, going exactly where you need it. Understeer, in which the car pushes wide in a very corner, only is the place you carry an ambitious number of speed right into a bend. But there's less sensation of just what the front end is perfectly up to coming from the steering wheel too. Many drivers could also find the steering lighter than required to, that is great for low-speed urban driving, but is less engaging on twisty broads. Whether over billiard tables, smooth fresh asphalt or seen better day surfaces, the Mondeo rides well, with composed body control, decreasing the floaty sensation some larger cars suffer. No adaptive suspension options available inside UK. Nevertheless, the standard setup is useful. You do have the initial bump or ridge you've driven over, nonetheless it's softened and unlikely to trouble passengers significantly. Roll through corners is usually kept to your minimum too, permitting you to maintain good progress without applying the brakes a lot on windier roads. The brakes themselves work effectively, with little symptoms of fading despite repeated, heavy application. Unlike the steering, the pedals feel well weighted and there's a slick, well-engineered shift action to your manual gearboxes. All ones means that this Mondeo is refined, composed and comfy, just lacking the sparkle that attracted keen drivers from the past. Simple dashboard layout. Solid, premium quality build. Easy to find a cushy driving position. Rather just like the pleasing but evolutionary theme from the exterior, the Ford Mondeo's interior breaks little new ground stylistically. Many panels are formed from soft-touch moldings reinforcing the premium feel together with further helping deaden sound and lower rattles. The center console incorporates a variety of circular push buttons for that switchgear, which all look identical, however they are clearly labeled and easily understood once you've spent a modest amount of time when driving. The remaining physical controls work effectively too, precise of their actions and robust without feeling too workmanlike. Dominating the center console would be the 8.0-inch touchscreen for that Sync 3 infotainment system, which usefully is blessed with crisp graphics, unambiguous text and colored themes for each and every of its functions. Higher-spec models in addition have a combined analog and digital instrument cluster displaying various details including trip information, sat-nav instructions and traffic signs inside a dynamic way. Forward visibility is nice, helping you to position the car well around the road, but deficiencies in standard parking sensors, aside from a reversing camera, it's tough to judge the car's extremities, makes it tough to park confidently, especially since the rear slopes fairly dramatically. We'd recommend at the very least specifying the optional sensors. Mounting the mirrors on pillars in the doors themselves affords a larger view of traffic conditions behind, although taller drivers may obtain the meeting point from the thick windscreen pillar as well as the front corner from the roof results in a blind spot when crossing oncoming traffic. Generous interior space. Comfortable seats throughout. Ride is a useful one even on larger wheels. With space to luxuriate in, excellent materials and also a well-controlled ride quality, the Mondeo's comfort levels can be a particular division of strength. That further increase in refinement helps make the car feel more isolated through the outside world, which conflictingly is the reason why it feels rather less satisfying to operate a vehicle. That said, with minimal body roll and fine body control, The Mondeo remains composed and doesn't float over long undulations and road surfaces. Comfort remains strong at urban and motorway speeds too, and whilst the standard suspension settings fitted inside UK copes admirably with bumps and ruts, you do check out initial intrusion, albeit softened. It's not severe enough to trouble passengers. Nonetheless, it lends a sporty sensation to some car that otherwise doesn't think way inclined. Ergonomically, the Mondeo's sound too, with pedals and gear lever falling easily at hand with well-weighted actuations too. There's lots of adjustment from the seats and steering column too, even though the light sensation from the steering further aids comfort. Dual-zone air-conditioned climate control effectively chills or warms the vast cabin as desired remarkably quickly, the ascent space amplified with the fixed glass roof option. Soft-touch plastics and high-grade materials elsewhere convey an aura of plushness normally linked to larger cars. Wind noise is kept low, although there's some low-level turbulence across the door mirrors which now protrude from pillars for the door skins as an alternative to from the window frame. Some tire noise also infiltrates the cabin when driving on coarser road surfaces too, and that is more noticeable on cars fitted with larger alloy wheels. Easy to understand lineup. All models come with plenty of kit. Lots of options, but many non-essential. The Mondeo will come in a number of 5 trim levels: Zetec Edition, ST Line, ST Line Edition, Titanium Edition and Vignale. Standard Ford Mondeo equipment. The Mondeo range starts with Zetec Edition, which is included with 17-inch alloy wheels, Sync 3 infotainment system with 8.0-inch touchscreen, DAB radio and sat-nav, dual-zone climate control, cruise control, power folding door mirrors, front and rear parking sensors, active city stop autonomous emergency braking. Next inside lineup could be the Mondeo ST line, building on Zetec Edition with 18-inch alloy wheels, sports suspension, body kit with gloss black exterior trim, rear spoiler, ST line badges inside and outside, sports seats with red stitching, perforated leather tire, multicolor ambient lighting, black headlining, keyless ignition. The Titanium Edition adds these and the ST line. Keyless entry and ignition, automatic lights with auto high beam, automatic wipers, traffic sign recognition, lane keeping aid, leather upholstery with electric adjustment and heating for both front seats. The ST line next loses electric adjustment for that passenger seat, and incorporates partial leather upholstery compared to Titanium Edition and keeps most of Titanium Edition's kit roster, but adds 19-inch alloy wheels and rear privacy glass to your regular ST line. The top-of-the-range Mondeo Vignale also builds on Titanium Edition with 19-inch alloy wheels, Vignale-specific grille with dark chrome exterior detailing, adaptive LED headlights, privacy glass, electric tailgate, full leather interior, heated leader, reversing camera, Sony DAB navigation system. Optional Ford Mondeo accessories. There's numerous factory-fitted options to personalize your Mondeo. A large proportion opt with the self-parking function. This allows parallel parking. You may wish to beef up the Mondeo's styling. Titanium models could be specified with 19-inch alloys, although there's negative impact on CO2 output, while a full-size spare can be fitted. However, it reduces boot space by 83 liters. Further items you may wish to tick from your options list, such as a body kit, a rear spoiler, although not should you opt with the electric tailgate, adaptive LED headlights, a set glass roof, as well as a retractable tow bar with electronic towing sway control. Inside you can even specify rear sun blinds, a winter pack encompassing heated front seats and tire, upgraded Sony Sat-nav and stereo, emergency city braking, adaptive cruise control, blind spot warning, reversing camera, and a power steering column adjustment. Lots of normal safety kit within the Mondeo. 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating. More might be added at extra expense. Euro NCAP has crash tested the Mondeo estate, however its score also applies towards the 5-door hatchback, achieving 5 stars. The car's underlying structure is both lighter and stronger than before, meaning it is going to fundamentally protect occupants better within the unfortunate occurrence associated with an accident. All-round airbags also give rise to safety while LED taillights, as well as a pedestrian detection system which aims to minimize in any other case negate collisions with folks, enhance safety for anyone outside the Mondeo. It's the indisputable fact that you should pay extra for much equipment which could help save lives, when Ford may have taken a lead and standardized much from the kit that disappoints us. If that it was, we'd have given it a greater star rating here. Optional safety equipment includes those inflatable rear airbags, the first on a European market Ford, adaptive cruise control and blind spot warning system. Higher spec versions do include a lane departure warning system, while top-of-the-range cars feature dynamic LED headlights as standard, bending the lighting beam towards corners because you steer. LED day running lights come as part of that package. Watch Ford Mondeo Estate Euro NCAP crash test video. The Mondeo is often a large family car. As such, it's a big interior and equally big boot. The car's size can be daunting around town. While boot space is marginally on rivals much like the Skoda Superb, what is going to be appreciated would be the Mondeo's genuine capability to seat 5 adults in comfort. If you're much over 6 feet tall, you might grumble in the sloping rear roofline which impinges on headroom. Not an issue about the estate. Legroom and shoulder width all impress too. The front seats, especially the more enveloping sports variety fitted to your SD line and titanium edition models, offer fine support in all of the aspects, meaning you're unlikely to feel fatigued after the long drive. Storage compartments are dotted across the cabin, all being useful for size and shape, particularly the glove box with the integral shelf. The open shelf area on the bottom from the center console is perfect for placing a phone on, close to some 12 volts socket too, but it really safely out of your eye line too. Pairing it via Bluetooth is simple, as well as the connection seems reliable too. Sony were particularly certain that sound quality by using a Bluetooth audio stream wasn't inferior to plugged-in connections. There's no hiding the very fact the Mondeo is often a big car, plus it can feel it about the road, particularly when you're squeezing it in a tight space. However, it's much less daunting as it might be and is particularly surprisingly maneuverable. Just be sure you buy a version with parking sensors all around, and look at the optional reversing camera to increase visibility out of the back in the car. The main issue could be the car's length, as it might hang your end of any parking space in the city. Otherwise there's little to locate intimidating concerning the Mondeo's size. Being a sizable car with hatchback versatility, there's without doubt that Ford Mondeo Practicality will probably be positively received by customers. All Mondeo hatchbacks have a 60 hours 40 minutes split rear seat which doesn't quite fold flat but is helpful enough for virtually all cargo it can likely transport. All models also consist of a load-through hatch behind the trunk center armrest, allowing long, slender loads to become swallowed. As standard, the Mondeo comes that has a space-saver spare wheel, meaning a 541-liter boot operating seats used. Opt to the full-size spare, which drops to 458 liters. The similarly sized Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport hatchback offers 490 liters. Nevertheless, the Volkswagen Passat and Skoda Superb trump the Mondeo, offering 586 plus a whopping 620 liters respectively. Tip the trunk seats forwards, and also the Mondeo's capacity increases 1,437 liters 1,356 liters if you go with the full-size spare.